TDCJ stores, updates, and processes large amounts of data every day. Data containing information on offenders, TDCJ employees, contractors, vendors, volunteers, and the physical and financial assets of the agency. If any sensitive information fell into the wrong hands, it could seriously threaten someone's personal, professional, and financial quality of life. The Information Technology Division prides itself on keeping up with modern technology, allowing the agency to run its computers and networks faster and more efficiently. ITD has security protocols in place, but can't control the employee who ignores the importance of information security, which is the responsibility of every single person employed by TDCJ. TDCJ's Information Resource Security Program, or IRSP, is the basis for the agency's information security policy, intended to ensure compliance with state and federal laws. These codes and standards specify TDCJ's responsibilities regarding sensitive data, which include personally identifiable information, criminal justice information services data, confidential information, and financial information. The IRSP specifies how TDCJ abides by these requirements, and, as an integral part of this agency, you are required to be familiar with and adhere to the stipulations contained in the IRSP. Many of the guidelines in this training may sound like common sense, but over time, it's easy to become complacent in our enforcement. Remember, ignorance of the policy is not an acceptable excuse. You must do your part to keep agency information safe. You can review the entire IRSP document on the TDCJ intranet. This link will also appear on the screen at the end of the program. A strong password makes it much more difficult for malicious people or software to access your information. Agency email passwords must have a minimum length of 8 characters and contain a mix of upper and lowercase letters and numbers. The numbers you use must not be at the beginning or the end of the password. And if the system you're using allows it, special characters like these should be included. Do not write down passwords or save them in a file on your computer or a flash drive. Don't share your passwords with anyone, not even your supervisor. With this information, someone could log in with your credentials and anything they did would be attributed to you. The only exception to this rule is when a TDCJ information technology specialist needs your password to fix an access problem. Once it's resolved, immediately change your password. One more thing about password safety. Be aware of your surroundings while you enter login information. Don't be victimized by a shoulder surfer, that person who casually spies on someone as they enter their username and password, PIN, social security number, or email address. Social engineering is an assortment of techniques used by criminal hackers to psychologically manipulate employees into divulging usernames, passwords, credit card numbers, and other sensitive information. Here are some social engineering tactics. Phishing involves hackers using commonly used methods of communication like email, social media, instant messaging, or text messaging designed to create a sense of urgency that leads to impulsive decision-making. Phishing can pressure you into downloading attachments containing malware, submitting your username and password to malicious websites, or divulging confidential information. Baiting, a type of phishing in which a malware-infected device is left at a place it's sure to be found. spear phishing, which targets a group of people or a specific individual, and whaling, phishing that specifically targets executive staff and their assistants. Impersonation is another tactic that can make an attacker's job much easier because it plays on your trust of a coworker, or in some cases, a supposed coworker. If your coworker emails you asking for your password, remember, no one except you should know your password. If a coworker asks you to send a file containing confidential information and you know they are not authorized for access, verify with your supervisor that the request is legitimate. Also, you should be extremely skeptical of anyone requesting confidential information. If they are claiming to be a TDCJ employee, even if they identify themselves as executive staff, verify the request by calling that person's office directly. Most technical issues are handled through the agency's IT department. If you receive a call from an outside technical company, refer the caller to the Information Technology Division. Fake websites are set up by attackers to trick you into giving them your username, password, or work credentials, in the hope that they can gain access to the agency's network. This ploy usually involves an email, instant message, or text message that offers something for free or a chance to win a sweepstakes or lottery. This last one is probably obvious to you by now, but ignore any request from an unfamiliar person asking for your password or files containing confidential information, and report it to your supervisor. Remember, whether it's email, instant message, a phone call, or text message, if the communication seems unexpected or suspicious, it's best to be cautious and notify your supervisor. If you're receiving large amounts of suspicious emails or spam, immediately notify your supervisor and the ITD Information Security Officer. It doesn't really matter how strong TDCJ security software and hardware may be if an employee leaves their computer vulnerable to attack. So let's go over a few guidelines that can help you keep your work computer secure. First, don't modify or disable security software on any TDCJ computer. If you're having computer problems, contact the ITD Service Center. And don't use unapproved software on any TDCJ computer. These programs haven't been tested for compatibility with our systems and may have hidden malware or backdoors that could expose our systems and data to theft or damage. For security reasons, the web browsers Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox are only allowed on a case-by-case basis and only for a specific TDCJ-related need. If you've been issued a state-owned laptop or smartphone, make sure it's properly configured and encrypted. If you're not sure how to do this, call the ITD Service Center. In the event of a virus or information security concern, immediately call the office of the Information Security Officer. And remember this scene? If you need to step away from your computer for any reason, always lock your desktop. In Microsoft Windows, press the Windows logo key and the L key at the same time to lock your computer. Don't leave your laptop or smartphone unattended or inside any vehicle. But if it's lost or stolen, immediately report the theft to the police, your supervisor, and the Information Security Officer. Don't wait to do this. The Information Security Officer and local police need to know that your equipment was lost or stolen so they can proceed with the investigation and possible recovery of your agency-issued equipment. TDCJ's information security protocols are in place to ensure employees have access to the information they need to do their job while keeping possible threats at bay. Here's how you can help. Don't store TDCJ-related materials on your personal laptop, smartphone, tablet, or any personal storage devices. Don't store your personal or non-work related information on TDCJ devices. And don't store, view, or transmit inappropriate material on TDCJ computers and systems. If you have to print a hard copy of confidential information, be aware of those around you who could see the printout, and always make sure the printout is securely shredded when no longer needed. Before showing confidential information to a coworker, verify that they're authorized to view it. When sending any form of confidential information to approved non-TDCJ recipients for legitimate work purposes, always encrypt the files. If you need help encrypting your files, call the ITD Service Center. Cloud computing is a technology that's transforming the way we store data across different devices and with one another through the use of remote servers hosted on the internet. While cloud computing is capable of some amazing things, it can be a security risk when not used properly. TDCJ's confidential information, including email and files, is to be stored only on TDCJ's OneDrive service through Microsoft, never on non-approved cloud-based services like Google Drive, iCloud, or Dropbox. And remember when you learned that personal information shouldn't be stored on TDCJ devices? That goes for OneDrive storage too. Along with keeping your computer safe, it is your responsibility to abide by the rules governing use of the TDCJ network. That means never attaching a device to the network, such as your personal laptop, smartphone or tablet, wireless access points, wireless routers, switches, hubs, repeaters, or gateways. And using any tools to scan the TDCJ network will not be tolerated. Up to now, we've gone over passwords, confidential information security, TDCJ assigned device and network security, but physical security is also important. Physical access to computer systems and hard copy documents containing sensitive information, such as paperwork secured in a locked filing cabinet, must also be protected. Certain areas of TDCJ facilities are off limits to unauthorized personnel, and it's important that physical security is enforced at all times to ensure unauthorized persons don't access information they are not allowed to see. Do not allow any unauthorized or unfamiliar person physical access to any building, restricted area, cabinet, or computer without first verifying their identity and level of access. That also goes for allowing access to confidential data and physical or electronic files. Verify their identity and level of access first. You need to be aware of two ways people can gain access to a restricted area: piggybacking and tailgating. Piggybacking is when an authorized person enters a secure building or restricted area and allows other authorized individuals to enter with them. Note that only one person used their badge to gain access. The others were allowed to follow or piggyback off the person who consented to swipe their badge. Tailgating happens when a person without authorization enters a secured building or restricted area, following an authorized employee, with or without the employee's consent. Both piggybacking and tailgating are violations of TDCJ information security policy. It's your responsibility to make sure no one follows you into a secured building or restricted area. Make sure you're always doing your part to protect our agency and each other by being security aware. If you'd like to look over the Information Resource Security Program, you'll find it on the agency's intranet at this address. For any computer-related questions or issues, contact the ITD Service Center. And if you have any information security questions or issues, contact ITD's Office of the Information Security Officer.